Zane Clodfelter with Otters TV here with Bobby Segal, the hitting coach for Evansville. Welcome back to town. I know you've been here for quite a while. What are some of the things you're looking for here the first couple weeks of spring training?
It's going to be great to get out. I looked at the weather forecast, and that's obviously something you can't control, but looks like we're going to have some sun and some decent weather. But as far as my side of the ball, just guys coming back, the biggest thing is just letting them see balls out of the hand, trying to work on timing, work on some other offensive things such as base running and just some situational type hitting and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to getting started with that. We've got a lot of new faces on my side of the ball this year, but it's been a busy off season for us, and we feel like we have a pretty good nucleus to start with.
And talking about some of your new faces and new signees, talking with manager Andy McCauley, he mentioned some of the relationships that you've built in your previous coaching stops as ways of getting people to sign. How crucial are those relationships?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, as far as just, a lot of guys, whether they go to play affiliated ball or, or just looking for a professional opportunity, a lot of those guys have options. And so when they're like, oh, I've worked with, Bobby Segal, or they know just my personality and just some of the competitive edges that I have, or maybe it's organization, they feel comfortable going with somebody that they know. So, and that's even for the pitching side of things too. I mean, as far as once they get here, they're all maxes, you know what I mean? But just guys that have played for me, that stuff's big, and it's just funny how you really never ever know in this game or out in the real world even who's going to be potentially your future boss. You know? So
that's kind of cool. Now, going back to last year, there were a lot of games where the offense at times carried the team. A lot of records were broken. I know Dane Phillips came one away from breaking Josh Allen's doubles record. Jeff Gardner tied the single season home run record. Why was the offense so successful last year?
Oh man,
you're coaching, right?
Well, no, Andy does such a great job in the off season. Just he's been doing this for a really long time and gets the right guys in here to Evansville. But we take a pretty serious approach to our daily routines, and it's a grind when you're playing 100 games, and every single day when Bobby comes to the line to go over what we're talking about for the agenda offensively, sometimes I wear on those guys a little bit, but we had a really veteran club last year, so I credit guys' experience levels, whether they've made it to AA, were a top round pick, and then just their comfort level of being in the Frontier League. I think that had a lot to do with our success, and then like you said, I like to think that our preparations on a daily basis turn over to the game as well. But we just had a lot of talented guys, and it was lots of fun last year.
And you mentioned, we go back to the new faces this year. A lot of guys either aged out or they've gone elsewhere. What are going to be some of the challenges dealing with a new crop of players here coming in after a couple of years of stability with the roster?
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Really, we're losing some guys that are familiar and comfortable. So I think these first couple of weeks, the biggest thing is just trying to get them accustomed to maybe my style or my expectations of the offensive side of the ball, and that's what I would like to set early in spring training, just so guys kind of get the idea. There's a lot of, in this game, especially at the independent level, it could potentially be very individualized. But it's a long season, and so when you have those scuffles and those times where you hit a lull, you want to have something to fall back on. And so that's why I like to set goals and just have guys with certain ideas early in spring training, so that if the end of July is when we hit our lull, we have something to fall back on. And that's just the makeup of my expectations as a hitting coach and some of the goals that we set as a team.
Baseball for a lot of people is a long season, spring training, regular season, then hopefully another postseason run. How do you kind of stay level and not get too high or too low throughout the process?
Yeah, again, I think a lot of that starts at the top, and Andy has done this for so many years, that he really does a great job of just taking it in stride. There's some games that really hurt when you lose, or maybe games that you felt like you should have capitalized and won, or that were important that could potentially come back and bite you at the end of the season. But he does such a good job of just pretty much being the same guy every time he shows up to the field, and I just think that is so contagious amongst the entire team. So as far as that goes, you don't want to peak too early, and you want to have some fuel at the end of the race as well. So again, really try to focus on our pregame preparations and make sure it's not overload and make sure that the guys are getting what they need to get ready for that night's game.
Last year was a fun year. Is there a game that still kind of sticks out to you that kind of defined the season, at least for you?
Oh man, yeah. I tell the guys all the time that I have a lot of short-term memory.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's great as a hitting guy, but when it comes to baseball, guys, the older coaches and some of the people that I'm able to hang around with, they have phenomenal stories, and I don't know if there's one particular story. I know we had some awesome comeback wins.
Yeah.
Opening
night.
Maybe after a rain delay, or opening night. Those are the ones that really stick to me just because we put so much emphasis on, whether you're down, how do you get guys on base? How do you get that closer kind of shaking out there on the mound? But man, I wish there was one memory. But a couple big home runs, Yamaguchi, Phillips, towards the end of the season. Gardner obviously had an unbelievable year, and then you're working with guys like Schultz and Allen who just come out every day and get it done. So I hate to say individual names just because I don't have any great stories to particularly go along with it. But it was lots of fun.
I don't think we'll ever replicate that opening night game last year against Gateway. I believe that tied the single-season franchise for a comeback. And then you mentioned Colton Yamaguchi having that home run against Schaumburg in the playoffs in Game 2, I believe. That was pretty incredible as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good memories, but like I said, unfortunately, my memory doesn't go too far back. So I'm all about today. I got guys out here probably waiting for me to get in the cage right now. So I'll just try to stay locked into what's going on now.
We'll let Bobby Segal go do that, and I'm Zane Clodfelter for Otters TV.